All right, what is up? I need to vent. I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna go. I got 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna go play some hoops after this. Fired up. Always pumped to play hoops. And you know, I'm gonna start with Tyler Stevenson. All right, I'm gonna start with Tyler Stevenson. Tyler Stevenson's having like the best year of his career. He's having like the best year of his career. There's this thing called the designated hitter. They came out with it a couple years back. They brought it over to the National League. Had this designated hitter thing where if you don't want to have your catcher back there for 260 games a year. What do? We don't start him. We don't start Tyler Stevenson, the guy who has a 128 WRC plus in May. No, we don't start Tyler Stevenson. We start Luke Maley. And guess what else? We don't even hit Tyler Stevenson. The game was tied in the ninth inning. Listen, I stick up for David Bell a lot. I stick up for David Bell a good amount of the time. I think it's not always his fault. The roster's not great. But to not have Tyler Stevenson back, that's just crazy. How do you not stick Tyler Stevenson in the lineup? I just don't understand it. I just don't understand how you can not put Tyler Stevenson up to the plate in the ninth inning when it's a tie game. It just doesn't make sense. There's no excuse for it. What you're going to save him? David Bell said, "Okay, well, let's save him. Let's save him till we had a runner on base." This team doesn't get runners on base. Can we relax? This team doesn't get runners on base. Put him in the game. He should have started. He should have been in the game. Okay, so that's my first rant. Tyler Stevenson, it's just absurd. We keep sitting our best players. I get it. There's not a lot of people in the lineup, but how about we play the guys that are good and not have Stuart Fairchild up there hitting against righties? He's like 3 for 40 against righties all year. Mike Ford, I was all for the Mike Ford. Listen, I know there's a lot of people out there on the X app dunking on us that wanted Mike Ford up. Here's what I say about Mike Ford. We wanted him up just for a change. We just wanted to see Mike Ford. We just wanted to see what it would look like because Nick Martini and Bubba Thompson weren't offering anything for this team. We just wanted to see, just give it a chance. That's all we wanted. We saw it. Okay, cool. We can move on. So don't go on the dunking on people on Twitter about, hey, you guys wanted Mike Ford up. Nick Martini wasn't doing anything at the time either. Bubba Thompson was just sitting on the bench every day. So we wanted to see it. We've seen it, and now I think we've had enough. I don't know what the other options are, but this is crazy. I mean, Mike Ford got up there today in the second inning, third inning, runner on third, 1 out, no outs, one of the two. He just struck out on 3 pitches looking. You can't strike out looking on 3 pitches when there's a runner on third, no outs. So I just don't get it. This team is just infuriating, man. I try to be so positive. It's impossible. It's impossible to be positive about this team. Yeah, I see in the chat someone said even Sadak surprised Maley was at bat. Yeah, the other thing about Sadak is he was like a sad puppy dog today. He was so sad. The first inning when I think was it Machado who hit the double opposite field? He hits the double. And Sadak was like, and it's going to fall. That's a double for Machado. The Reds trail 2-0. This team, how do you lose 17 of 21 games? Even if you're a terrible team, I think we can all agree that the way this team is currently constructed is not a very good team. It's not a very good lineup. But with this pitching, you got to find ways to win games. 17 of 21 is insane. It's insane. 17 to 21. It's crazy. All right. here's another thing I want to talk about, and I've probably been on the opposite side of this most of the time. I know people get mad at David Bell for post game getting up there and saying, "Hey, we're playing well, we're doing good, we just got to trust the process." I'm finally tired of it. I've stuck up for him all year for it because I'm like, what do you want him to say? He's just trying to have his players back. I get it. I understand why it's happening. He's just trying to have his players back, and he's trying not to go up there and yell and scream and do whatever. Hurrah. But I'm tired of it. Luke Maley said after the game, hey, if you want a bright spot, at least the offense is kind of coming alive. What are you talking about, Luke? What are you talking about? The offense is dead. The offense is dead. Let me pull this up for a second. Because I put it somewhere. Where is it? Give me 1 second. I got to talk to myself on putting this up. The offense has scored like 2.3 runs in the last 6 games. They've scored nothing. Can we stop just saying nonsense in the interview afterwards? I get it. You're not just going to get up there and crush it, but can we just say, listen, we stink right now. We stink and we need to be better. Don't give me, on the plus side, our offense has been better lately. Okay, here's what better looks like, folks. Here's what better looks like. We got 4 runs today. That's basically 20 runs for this offense. 4 runs is basically 20 for this offense. All right, we scored 3 yesterday. We scored 2 the day before. We scored 9 runs in the series. We won 1 game. Feels like a miracle. All right, then we got 2. We scored 2 against the Dodgers. We scored 0 against the Dodgers. We scored 3 against the Dodgers. And we scored 7 against the Dodgers. We won this game. We scored 7. It's amazing what happens when you have good pitching and you can score more than 3 runs. It's amazing what happens. But when you don't score more than 3 runs, you lose. And we'll go even back a game further than that. Diamondbacks, 1 run. 1, 7, 3, 0, 2, 2, 3, 4. That's terrible. All right, Chris in the chat, they've scored 3.03 runs in their last 24 games prior to today. That's terrible. Thanks for the stat, Chris. I appreciate that. That's bad. That's just terrible. 3.03 runs. Even with great pitching, you're not going to win scoring 3 runs, especially against the team the Reds have been playing. It's just crazy. It's crazy. This is just a great vent. I'm just getting a great vent off. Appreciate you guys being in here. Let me vent. Appreciate people in the comments. It's crazy. Hey, Nick Martini hit a bomb today. Nick Martini hit a bomb. We all doubted Nick Martini. He went down to AAA and started hitting bombs everywhere. Here's what I'll say about that. I'm actually happy for Nick Martini, even though he had one of the worst players in right field history today. He's terrible. He's terrible defensively. But here's what I'll say about that. And it may not be accurate. Maybe he continues to struggle after today, but he did have 2 hits. But here's what I'll say about that. It's not this big punishment to go to the minor leagues. Like, I get it. Minor league pitching is bad. But sometimes for certain guys, you just need confidence and to find your swing. Like, look at Will Benson last year. Will Benson went down there and found something. Yeah, it was against bad pitching, but still it does wonderful things to have confidence when you come back up. So, like, I'm a big golfer. As you can see, I have golf stuff in my background. Maybe I need to get some red stuff here. But, like, for example, like, when you come out and make a birdie on the first hole, you're kind of feeling yourself. You make 3 pars to start off the round, you're kind of feeling yourself. And all of a sudden, you're playing well because you have confidence. So I think what Martini did is he went down there and kind of found his swing, and he started hitting home runs, and he comes out and has a 2-hit game today. Now, it might not be long-term, but where I'm going with that is, like, AAA has looked this such a bad thing. Like, sometimes people just need to get right. I don't know, but I guess the problem is if we send guys down to AAA to get right, who the heck is going to be on the big league team? I have no idea. I have no idea who's going to be on the big league team because it's terrible. It is terrible. The other thing about quotes, while I was on the quote rant, Nick Martinez said in the postgame, I think we're playing great. We've just had some bad luck. I'm so tired of the quotes. Like I said, I get it. I get it just something to say. I truly do. I get it's just something to say. They don't want to be talking to the media. They're frustrated. They're not going to throw their players under the bus. I mean, even TJ Antone. I love TJ Antone. I love him in the booth. He comes up there in the second inning today, and he's like, I think Frankie's throwing great. I'm like, TJ, it's 4. He's given up 4 runs in 2 innings. And again, he's not going to go up there and crap on his teammates while he's in the booth. But that's what gets Reds fans mad. You're not doing anybody any favors by saying, "Hey, Frankie's pitching great. Keep it up, buddy." And it's 4-2 in the second inning, 4-1, whatever it was in the second inning. Anyway, enough about the quotes. But I'm tired of the quotes every day. This team's fine. They're terrible. The offense is flat out terrible. I would just love for them to say, "We stink right now. We're trying. Baseball's a hard sport. We're trying. We're fighting our tails off. We're doing everything we can. We know we're letting the fan base down. We know we suck right now. We're trying." I'd respect the hell out of it if you just come out and said that. I'd respect the hell out of it. I'm tired of we're playing good. It's just not falling for us. No, you're not. You're not. Anyway, I want some honesty when guys talk to me. That's what I'm saying. Fans get mad when you just throw out the little cliche quotes. Nobody wants to hear that, right? All right, what else do we got? So many missed opportunities. I will say that the Reds offense had so many opportunities today. So many opportunities. They had bases loaded. What was it? No outs, 1 out. Hurtubise gets a hit. Somebody got out. I forget who got out. Benson struck out. He missed a middle pitch, swung right through it. Hurtubise gets up there, rips a single. Cool. Reds get on the board. Ellie gets up there, takes a pitch that really hittable pitch, swings right through a middle pitch. And then who was after him? He was Candelario. First pitch, middle, ground out to second. Like, those are the things that you can't have 3 batters in a row see a meatball with the bases loaded and score 1 run. Those are the things that good teams hit a grand slam or hit a ball in the gap. We didn't score another run from it. Our Hurtubise hit a single, so we scored 1 run. But like, those are the things that good teams don't do. You don't get 3 meatballs and get no runs from Ellie, Candy, and Benson. That just kills you. I mean, it's crazy. Steer had a meatball that he fouled off, I think, in number 9, in the 9th inning. It's frustrating, man. It's pretty frustrating. And I know baseball's hard. I will say that. Like, it's funny. I do think about it. Like, I get on here and I just rant and rave. Like, I can't play Major League Baseball. Come on. Like, I was a decent high school baseball player. Does that mean anything? No. I stink compared to these guys. So I get baseball's a hard sport. So it's a little funny me getting on here and ranting and raving. But we're all fans, right? Like, we root for this team, and we just want them to do well. So when they play terrible, we're just going to be mad. That's what we do. I like watching the Reds. You guys like watching the Reds. It's just what we do. Anything else? I guess another positive. Cruz, Diaz, and Sims all look pretty good. That's good, I guess. They held the game. But here's one thing I want to talk about before I go. And then I probably got to go. I got ready for basketball. Play basketball on Thursdays. And then the Pacers play tonight. I'm a Pacers fan. Maybe the Pacers will make my night better. But here's what I'll say. I'm a big, probably like analytics guy. Like, I think guys that hit the ball hard most often are going to be, the guys that hit the ball hard the most often are going to have good results. You just think that's going to come with more hits, more extra base hits, more home runs, whatever it is. The issue, or not the issue, but one thing I'll say regarding that is Luis, I might miss his last name, is Luis Arise on the Padres. That dude's fun to watch. Like, he gets up there and you just know he's going to work, and he's going to work a good at bat. He doesn't swing and miss. He's not going to give away at bats. He comes in, he gets a hit like every time he comes up to bat. He comes in at the 10th inning, he lays down a bunt to get the guy over to third and gets a single out of it. I don't think that's talked about enough. I think that's a thing that is out of the game these days. Like, that he is such a valuable player, but you look at his OPS, it's not amazing because he doesn't hit for much power, and It's almost underrated. But like, man, when you watch this Reds team strike out the way they do and not make contact, and then you watch that guy, you're like, man, we wish we had that guy. Like, I'll say Hurtubise hasn't been great. He hasn't been hitting the cover off the ball, but he seems to put good at bats together. He makes contact. Hurtubise doesn't go up there and strike out on 3 pitches. I'll say this: 2 of the last 3 games when Hurtubise has been up there with runner on third, no outs, he hit that little sac fly that barely got India home the other day, but he made contact. You make the defense make a play. Today, he ripped a single. Like, those at bats, I feel like I never used to value them as much as I do now with this team, because when you watch guys get up there and strike out, swinging so hard constantly, it's pretty frustrating. So I'll say I've enjoyed watching Hurtubise. He's not hitting the cover off the ball, but he's doing pretty well, and he's putting together good at bats. So I feel like this team needs to change their approach somehow. Like, they just need to change their approach. They need to do something, because it feels like every day the starting pitcher is out there and he has like 60 pitches through 6 innings. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? How do people have 60 pitches through 6 innings in today's major league? That's the Reds. It's every day. It doesn't matter who it is. You can be a knuckleballer. You can be a guy that throws 99. You can be Jamie Moyer out there. Bring Jamie Moyer back. He'll put up 6 innings, 60 pitches. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Chris put a couple things in here. The Reds are 2% below average in zone contact, 2% above league average in whiff percentage, 5% below in meatball swing percentage. That's what it feels like. I'm glad that it's not just what I'm seeing, because that's sure what it feels like, and it probably feels worse than actually what you typed out there. They did drive the starter after 3 innings the other day. You're right about that, and that felt like they put together some good at bats there. They did do that the other day, but it seems like that was a outlier. I mean, most of the other games, guys have been in there for 6 innings, 7 innings. 1 run, 2 runs. I mean, it's crazy. But this is crazy. I mean, how do you lose 10 of 11 games, go on an 8-game losing streak, lose 17-21? It's just absurd. And I'm beginning to think it's almost like I would need to go back and watch these games, but like, I don't think guys are just pitching that well against the Reds. It's not just like everyone pitches the greatest against the Reds. If you go back and watch a lot of these at bats, I'm truly thinking they're just missing pitches. They're missing good pitches to hit, which if you want to have success in the major leagues, you don't miss good pitches to hit. It seems, I mean, that's just is what it is. Like, you can't, I know I hit on it already, but you can't have 3 or 4 good pitches to hit with 3 different guys when the base is loaded and 1 out and score 1 run. Bases loaded, no outs. Benson had no outs when he was up. And that's just what keeps happening. It's just amazing to me. And I guess baseball is a momentum sport, but it's amazing to me that it's happening to everybody at the same time. It's happening to everybody at the same time. Like, Spencer Steer at the beginning of the year looked like the most consistent, player out there. And now he's lost. Ellie takes too many good pitches. Somebody says in the chat, yeah, I think Ellie's just going through it right now. He's kind of lost like he was kind of at the very beginning of the year and the end of last year, where I think he's guessing. I mean, he swung at a pitch 3-1 today that was like a curveball in the dirt, which tells me he's just thinking, I'm going to get a fastball, and he already made up his mind before the pitch that I'm going to swing. And that just tells me guys are pressing, guys are trying to make something happen. They're trying. Listen, nobody thinks the team's not trying. Like, those guys are getting up there and they're pressing and they're wanting to make things happen because they know they're struggling. I do see a lot of stuff on Twitter that these guys don't care. They're not trying to make adjustments. I don't really buy into all that. I think they're trying too hard in a sense. Like, instead of just going and playing, now all of a sudden you're thinking about things. Again, I'm going to use another golf analogy because I'm a golfer, but like, the minute you start thinking about your golf swing while you're hitting a shot, instead of just swinging and doing what you've done and doing like what works, when you start thinking about it, it's a disaster. you can't have swing thoughts up there when a guy's throwing 95 mile per hour. Like, you just need to do it. But sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's not working. The approach is something. Yeah, Cam, I hear you. I think they're trying too hard because they're not enjoying baseball. Yeah, I think you're right. Like, it's hard to enjoy baseball when you're playing this bad. Like, I know everyone wants to say, like, we need to see more energy, more emotion, but like, it's hard to fake energy and fake emotion. Like, how many? I'm sure you guys have played sports in the chat, but like, when you're losing, you're mad. Like, you're mad when you lose. So like, I don't know what you're supposed to do at the beginning of the game. Just start like, what are you gonna like do? Softball cheers on the sideline and be like, "Hey guys, we got it today." I don't know. Like, you can try to be positive at the beginning of the game, but when things go bad, you just get mad. It's just human nature, you know. But I think you're right. Like, they're certainly not enjoying it. I mean, those guys, we think we're doing bad. Like, the players are probably doing worse. I can't imagine what they're going through. Like, what people say to them on social media, and what, you know, when they're walking around, people are like, these guys stink. I mean, that can't be fun. But anyway, any last questions, any last thoughts? I'm going to go play basketball in a bit. I'll run off some steam. I just wanted to come on here for a hot second, and, you know, vent. It makes me feel better. Here we go. I think the culture in the clubhouse is just rancid. I don't know. I feel like they have a lot of the guys. From last year that they had a great clubhouse. Again, I think it's hard. I think it's just hard to be positive and show like that great energy when you're losing. I really do. Like, Jonathan India has been terrible, and he's like the rah-rah guy. He's been terrible. I don't know what he's changed in his swing, but he can't even hit a double, let alone a home run. He's got some of the worst. I think Bryce Spalding put out a tweet that Bronson Arroyo, the last year he hit, had a higher slugging than Jonathan India does right now. It's wild. It's just wild. I mean, I don't know, but like Jonathan India, he's the rah-rah guy, and it's hard to rah-rah when you're playing like he is. It really is. I mean, he's been straight up terrible, and I like Jonathan India. I mean, nothing against the guy. He's a good dude, but it's tough to watch. It's either a walk or single or nothing else. But anyway, appreciate all you guys hopping in. I'm gonna hop off here, go play some hoops. If you don't root for an NBA team, root for the Pacers tonight. We need a Pacers upset. Like I always say, I'm trying to start doing more of these. So appreciate you guys being in the chat. Go Reds. We play 3 against the Dodgers, so who knows? We might get swept. I don't have any hope, but we'll see what happens. Please, Pacers, don't choke again. That was terrible the other day. I had no hope. at the end of that game. I had no hope, or at the beginning of the game. I said they're coming off 2 days, and after a big win, they're going to get crushed. And then they played amazing, and they just blew it. They just threw it away in the last 30 seconds. But anyway, appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time. Go Reds.